Just never know when emotional intelligence and awareness comes in handy. Waiting to get my breaks done. I'm gonna have to fill in the details when I get home because I don't really have enough uninterrupted time right now to explain everything that's happened. I've been at the break shop for like 2 hours and 40 minutes at the moment. And it's so interesting. The interpersonal dynamics and the factors that are going into every single fucking interaction that happened. And I get home, I'll tell you more about it. But just so you know where it took place, this is the front door. Over there is the box of donuts on the counter that I had delivered because the other customer, there's his Chevy Impala up in the air. All of these things will have more meaning after I tell you the story. Where's the Chevy Impala? There's the spot over there where my car was parked, where the poor tech who didn't know how to drive stick had a hard time backing it up till I went out there and backed it up for him and drove it over and lined it up and coached him into how to pull it forward. So there's just so many, we have choice points every day, all day long. Are we going to see and hear what's going on for the other person, which builds a bridge of connection? Or are we going to stay so focused in our own feelings and needs and stories and beliefs and expectations and assumptions that we don't even have space for those things? And I can't always be as comfortable and compassionate and patient as I have been today. I'm hungrier now than I was 2.5 hours ago, even though I also got myself a snack from Dunkin' when I had food delivered for the customer, the staff, and myself. So it's a constant state of checking in with myself. Do I have the internal capacity and resources right now to be able to show up and hold space for how other people are feeling? When the answer is yes, I do that. When the answer is no, I have to take care of myself first. And so that looks like eating, usually, going to the bathroom, getting something done if it's on my mind that I know I need to do. Once I take care of myself in those ways, then I can come back to be a grounded, steady presence. And that's one of the things I recently had reflected back to me from someone, was that because when I'm well nourished and well resourced, then I have this steadiness in me, like an emotional groundedness that makes it so much easier for me to track how someone else's emotions are shifting and changing and where they're at. Because if I'm not grounded, then it's just like ping-ponging, pinballing. That's what it feels like. Like so many emotional interactions are just, and nobody's really paying attention to why'd that just go over there? Well, it was because of the angle of this. Yeah, there's the sweet guy it's his first fucking day at work. When I got here, he had stalled out a fancy ass Jeep in the parking lot, and the owner left in a huff because he didn't know how to drive stick well enough to get it in there. Anyway, yeah, it's if nobody's paying attention to the angles of the pinball and the force behind the things that are pushing it, then it just seems like chaos, and the emotions seem out of control or unpredictable and often unsafe. Someone can feel unsafe because you can't predict which way that ball's going to go, right? But if you at least can see the fucking pinball machine and you're like, oh, that's at an angle like this, no wonder it went in that general direction, then it helps you be able to have more compassion and understanding, which is what allows you to create more connection, which is actually what allows you to then help be able to adjust the fucking pivots of the pinball machine. I'm not sure exactly how this metaphor is going to add up, but it feels like a good one. Am I the ball? Are you the ball? I'm not sure. I'm going to think about that one. But it's real. My arm's getting tired. Yeah, but there's something there because I can go into any fucking situation and I have a better sense of what that pinball machine looks like than almost anybody else in the room. And so it makes it so much easier to start to, I guess, in a way, like if the I think I got it. So the ball is the energy dynamic between whoever's in the fucking room and what's going on. Oh, here's a key player.
So he just took them off again, rolled them around, looked at the thing, and now he's just put them back on.
Huh. Doesn't seem like it would do much for you. But what a pain in the ass. And there was a guy who came and left. We told him he would run to the bank, but... Oh, is he still there? Oh, good. Good.
That right there is my answer to prayer.
Aw. Players in the day. Well, those are them. Okay, so it's 3:05. Went into the brake shop at 11 today. Originally, it was supposed to be like an hour wait or so. And 4 hours later, I'm leaving. And they didn't do anything. Not yet. Because it turns out they actually have to replace the calipers also because they're so rusty. This is the car that I bought sight unseen the day of or day before my dad's funeral because his car had gotten totaled while he was in the hospital. So it's been a great little car, Mazda 6-speed, but it was from up north and it's rusty. So they have to order them in. And I got talking to the lady who's been like specially hired. They talked her in to leaving Jamaica, where she's from, to come turn around this business up here. But she's having a hard time staffing it, and it's very interesting. So, I mean, I've been very connected to my choice throughout here. I could have taken an Uber home anytime if I wanted to. I didn't have to buy breakfast for the other guy who was waiting, but who had been sweet and helped me fix it had like a winch strap, but that was stuck and needed rethreading, and another one. So he helped me troubleshoot that earlier. So I was like, let me DoorDash you breakfast because he was so hungry. So I felt very connected to my sense of choice. Like, I'm ready to be home and I'm hungry now, but I'm going to go because I'm driving. Okay, I'm recording on my bed because it feels better on my back. And I figured it was about time to start telling you about my brake shop experience. So, first of all, I didn't even find this brake shop. I asked my assistant to help me find a brake shop. So she did. It was super highly rated. I was like, great. I'm supposed to be in and out of there within like an hour and 15 minutes. So fine. Head on over there. I walked into the shop and gave her my keys. And I was like, by the way, it's a stick. And she's like, okay, well, I think you drive stick. I think it's okay. I have a new guy today. My regular guy didn't come in. And so I have a new guy and it's his first day here. Maybe she told me that later. But anyhow, I found out. New guy's first day at the shop. I'm like, fine, no problem. Let me know. So I sit down, and as I'm looking out the window, there's this young kid who's like in his 20s, pacing. That's the word. Pacing outside, looking kind of stressed. Comes in, still kind of pacing, and but he's just waiting there. And then I'm like, well, I got time to kill. And the other day when I tried to move some furniture, I noticed that my winch straps were not properly threaded for my tie-down straps. And so I was like, well, I don't usually have time to kill. I'm going to bring these into the shop and just see if I can rethread those right while I'm waiting. So I do that. Young kid, whose name is Sebastian, is looking kind of stressed or whatever. And at some point I was like, you okay over there? He's like, yeah, I'm just hungry. I didn't eat breakfast. And I'm like, okay. And so I wait. And then a little while later, he comes over and he's like, do you need help with that? Because I kept trying to get this strap loaded and it would not fit. And so I was like, if you want to try it, sure. And I explained the situation to him. And it was clear that he was pretty bright, which is not always the case with everyone that I meet here in Florida. Then I realized he must go to the Florida Institute of Technology. And I was like, are you at FIT? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. That makes sense. So he's fiddling around with that. So I'm like, okay, I'll work on my other one. And meanwhile, he got there at like 10:30 in the morning. I get there at 11. I'm waiting a long time, and his car's not done, and my car hasn't even been in yet. And so finally, then what happens? He helped me. We troubleshot fixing the thing. We ended up, not that you really care about it, but the problem was that the webbing had a loop in it and it wouldn't go through when it was double. So we undid the stitching to make it a single layer, and then it went through fine. So we got that solved, and it was fun, like doing teamwork. I like doing that, problem solving with people. And then, so I think his car comes out, but I had been like, do you want me to buy you breakfast? Like, we could get it delivered. And he's like, no, that's fine. I was like, okay, thanks. So his car comes out. He leaves. The kid who works in the shop goes to, I get in my car. And I told him it was a stick. And I go out there. And it's parked, like I pulled in forward towards the curb. And the car is just going forward, and he hasn't figured out how to get it in reverse. And it's maybe a little tricky. So I was like, well, I'll go out there and see. Sorry, repositioning. And so I go out there, he puts the window down. I'm standing outside my car, and I'm like, how you doing? And he's like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I was like, do you want me to revert? Do you want me to back it up? Do you want me to drive it in for you? And he's like, no, they won't let me pull it in because of insurance reasons, but if you could back it up for me. And I was like, okay, I'll back it up and then I'll line it up right there so you can just pull it forward. So I back up my car, line it up with the stall, and he gets in, and then I'm like coaching him. I'm like, okay, put it in gear, foot on the clutch, put it in gear. I mean, I've taught stick before. It's a fun thing I like to do. So I coach him, and he gets it first time, goes straight. I mean, he evidently has driven stick some, obviously, but he got it and pulled it in. And then I go in to sit down again. And then a few minutes later, who comes back? Sebastian. And he comes in, and he's really upset this time. And his car is like lurching or vibrating really badly when he's driving it, and he doesn't know why, and it wasn't doing that when he drove it in this morning. And meanwhile, the mechanic kid comes out and asks me if I have the lug nut tool for my car, which I don't know where it is, but I start to answer it, and then the manager woman is like, you don't need that. We have a universal set. You don't need that. So it goes back in. So she's frustrated that he's like not asking, not communicating well about things. And turns out she also hasn't eaten all day. And I mean, I brought my computer, I brought my iPad. I didn't have anything else scheduled that day. Like, I'm about as chill as can be. And I'm just watching the dynamics. Oh, and the guy, remember when I got there, the guy with the Jeep. So it was the mechanic kid who had stalled out the Jeep. And the guy who owned the Jeep was not happy about it. And so he left in a huff. So I'm like, they got some unhappy customers today. Like, I'm the least of their problems right now. And so I have stuff to work on, and was talking to Sebastian, and it was fine. Whatever other customers come in. So then I'm like sitting in the waiting room. Who knows what time it is? I was there for so long, right? But then anytime a new customer comes in, I'm sort of like paving the way, where I'm like, just so you know, they're having a rough day and they're down some help and whatever. So I think it did help soften the expectations of people when they came in. So anyway, the guy comes in, wants me to go look at my car because he put some, like, I forget what they call it, rust lock or something to try to get, because it's very rusty because I got it up north. And so I'm like, okay, do what you got to do. And then I go back inside, and now Sebastian's like really annoyed that his car isn't working and he doesn't know why. And then Mitzi, the business owner, it's like 12:30, 1:30, 2 in the afternoon, and they're all hungry. So I was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna order something for everybody. And here in Florida, the closest thing around was Dunkin' Donuts. So I asked the kid, Sebastian, I'm like, what do you like for breakfast? And he's like, anything sweet, basically. So I ended up ordering him a bagel and hash browns and orange juice. And I got myself some hash browns, and I ordered some donuts for the manager and the kid in the shop. And it took a while to get there, but I'm just like, how can I reduce the tension in this situation? Like nervous system soothing. Like, how can we do some nervous system soothing here? Because my nervous system was pretty fucking calm and fine with it all, but it was clear that not everybody's was. And so it was just cute. Meanwhile, like, the manager comes out to me and is kind of complaining about things and talking about things along the way. And I love hearing about, businesses, and I'm just like, I don't know why the fuck anyone would ever have this business or accept this job, but that is not my problem. And it was a Saturday. They were closing at 3. I had gone in at 11. She said, and I said 11 or 1, and she's like, well, let's do 11 just to be on the safe side because we close at 3. I was there till she was locking the doors, because then they finally realized that in order to fix the brake pad, they would have to take the caliper off, but the caliper was rusted so bad that they wouldn't be able to get it back on. And so if they took it off, then I wouldn't be able to drive it home for the weekend. So she's like, we'll get the part on Monday, so if you can bring it back in on Monday. So I was there for the full 4 hours and they did nothing on my car, but except by the end, they finally let me fucking back it out of the garage because we were like kind of good friends by then. And that kid did not need more stress. He got fired because lack of communication, lack of skill, lack of know-how, and also some mistakes. There was a guy who came in at one point, and I gave him my spiel about, like, they're having a rough day or whatever. Turns out he's the new mechanic, like senior level top tech mechanic, whatever it is, who they brought down from fucking New York State. She's like, I told the owner they're going to have to pay whatever they're going to pay, that just give this guy what he wants because I need a good, reliable mechanic. So he literally, like 2 days before, I guess, had flown down from up north and like moved down with his wife to Florida for this job to do this turnaround at this brake shop. So, and I guess another piece, like, when I helped, every time I saw the kid who was the mechanic, I think eye contact. I realized how important eye contact is in building rapport with people. And not everybody will return it, but I am always giving it and like looking for like the human connection there. And I just was able to show up with so much compassion. And I'm not saying I always could or under every circumstances that I could, but I'm just like, they're having a shit day. And it's not going to make anybody's lives better to put more pressure on them or on him. And so it was sweet to be able to just establish a human connection with the vast majority of the people who came in there and kind of meet them where they're at. And none of them are going to be my best friends, but it was like just sweet, authentic interaction, taking into account how they were feeling and what was really going on, and validating, kind of empathizing with their feelings, and also doing some troubleshooting and figuring out, like, okay, food would make things better for everybody. So I think those are the major highlights of that story. And then I went back on Monday, and mechanic kid was fired. New guy who I had met was there doing the work, so he did the work on my car. I was kind of hoping they'd give me a discount, but I don't think they did. But I got it done, and I would go back again. But it was an adventure. So thanks for sticking around and listening to it. I hope it's as entertaining for you as it was for me. Okay, take care. Bye.